What's up, guys? Welcome to Dirt Soldiers MX and the Motocross Training Academy. I got a video here from the final lap of the Oakland Supercross in the battle between Dungey and Brayton. If you watch this race, you might remember where Brayton almost endos off this. There's a corner up here to the left-hand corner, and then there's a little double jump, and Brayton almost endos. But there's something else that actually happens on here also, and I want you to see if you can see it. And then I'm going to break this down. I'm going to show you how you can jump and the keys to jumping, and how the difference between what these two guys did will help you with your jumping and make you jump better. This is for beginner riders, and I want to show you what you can do with your body position and what happens with compression and rebound, your body positions, center of balance and movements, and your throttle control to help you jump better. So let's just watch this at speed, fast once, and I'm going to slow it down and show you this, okay? I'm going to see if you can pick this out. Watch both guys. Here we go. All right, one more time. Let's watch it one more time. Here we go. Watch both guys. All right, let's check this out. Let me show you something here. What happens is Dungey, it almost happens to Dungey too, but there's a main difference in what Dungey's doing. And I'm going to show it to you. Let me bring it up here. Here we go. Okay, first, let me say this. As a beginner rider and jumping, when you jump, there's three things that happen that affect your front and what your front does. You're either going to go nose high, you're going to go, you're going to endo. And there's three things that affect that. It's the compression and rebound of your bike. Every jump, no matter what, it's just going to change by steepness and angles. You're going to get compression and you're going to get rebound. You need body position movements, center of balance movements into that compression and rebound to determine what your front's going to do, and your throttle's also going to come into play. Now, with that in mind, did you ever maybe yourself or seen guys that always jump a jump and their front end will be high every time, or they always jump a jump and they're panic revving, they're almost endoing? There's a reason for that, and what that is this: it has to do with your throttle and compression and rebound. And I'll show you that now, and then I'll show you this with Dungey and Brayton. See, what happens is in a jump, first of all, as a beginner rider, Dungey and Brayton do these both different. One standing as he goes off. Dungey, as you can see, stands as he goes off. Brayton is seated, and that's called a seat bounce. You can't jump like that. But as a beginner rider, you always want to go off the face of a jump. As you're practicing, you should always practice on little tabletops or small little jumps. You should want to be in your standing center of balance when you leave the jump, okay? And what that is, just in a nutshell, quick, is on the balls of your feet, knees tight against the bike, elbows nice and high, shoulder square, head over the handlebar mounts, and your knee joint over your ankle joint. And now back to what I said about them. Sometimes a guy goes high, sometimes a guy's front goes low. The reason that is in this compression and rebound and where their body position is. So a guy that always goes high, when he leaves the face of this jump, he's going to have his weight too much to the back, okay, of the bike, instead of being in that center of balance. If you go to Dirt Soldiers MX, free videos, you can learn the center of balance. You always want to, as a beginner rider, leave that jump in the center of balance, okay? Now, a guy that has his weight too much in the back part of the seat, even if he's standing, and he's giving hard throttle off the jump, now all that power to the back wheel plus your weight is going to make that front end go high. Now, a guy that endos all the time is either going to be seated when he jumps and don't even realize that he's doing it wrong, because a lot of guys that are amateurs will stay seated, or he might stay in the center of balance, but he's too far forward over the front of the bike. And another thing that'll do that is not giving it enough throttle. Every time you go off the face of a jump and you're off the throttle, leaving the jump, your end will drop, okay? So with that in mind, that's what happens, okay? Now, what you can do with that is first, as a beginner rider, you always want to find the center of balance. Leave the jump in the center of balance, all right? And that's what Dungey does here, and he's able to save it. As you're always going to get compression and rebound. So there's the compression. Dungey standing. As it rebounds, you're going to have to move from that center of balance to adjust for that rebound. Now, what happens on this jump is, obviously, these guys, this thing has a kicker on it, kicks them pretty good. So Dungey comes off. He's on the throttle hard, as we've seen at speed. But Dungey has to go way back. Look how far back his body is on that seat. Look at his butt back by the fender. That's because on the rebound, as it rebounded and kicked him, it was going to kick him forward, and to adjust for that, he had to go row with his legs tight against the bike. You row back into the rebound. The compression happens as the rebound happens when you leave the jump. You row back into it. That's what Dungey does. No problem. He has to go really far back, as you can see. Look how far back he is to save that. But you couldn't even tell at speed. He's good. He just goes back to the center of balance then before you land. Now, Brayton, the difference is he stays seated. Now, there's full compression on the bike, okay? Now, he hits the same line as it kicks him. The difference is he's not standing in the standing center of balance. He cannot adjust weight like Dungey could. The only thing he can do, because he's seated, is use his upper body from his waist up to his head to try to put more weight in the back. And as you can see, his arms are fully extended. He's trying, but he just can't get enough. He has too much weight forward for as it rebounded with that kick in the jump, and that's what causes him to endo, just like that. See that? So, I mean, that's a great video to show you the difference in how, it works. And you're always better off as a beginner rider to always practice, slow it down, find a tabletop or a small jump, find your center of balance and work from there. Work from the center of balance. As you leave the jump, you're always going to have to row back a little bit. Okay, if you leave a jump and you get a good drive off that jump, you're going to have compression. Just like this on every jump. Right here. You're always going to get the rebound as you leave. But if you stay standing in the center of balance, now you're able to adjust for that rebound. If you get a good, nice drive off there, a good arc, a good flow, you're going to have to go back into the rebound a little bit, but you're not going to have to go back as much as Dungey did there, being that jump kicked him. Okay? And then you always go back to the center, and then you land. Now, so it's always best to practice as a beginner rider jumping from the center of balance, standing center of balance. You'll feel that compression in your legs as you leave this jump right here, and as you leave, you'll get the rebound, okay? The other thing that'll affect that is this throttle, okay? Like I said, if you leave off your throttle off the face of a jump too early, it's going to nosedive, guaranteed, and you're going to have to go back like Dungey did. That's how you're going to have to adjust to keep that front from falling too far. You're going to have to panic rev it to spin that wheel more and get that front end to come high. If you leave a jump and you're off the throttle and you're too far forward, it's going to be really bad, because now you're going to have your weight forward, plus you left off the throttle, and it's going to drop really quick, all right? If you're too far back and you come off a jump on the throttle hard, you're going to have all that power to the back wheel plus your weight. You're going to get that front end to go high. That's what's going to happen. Now, if you come off the throttle and you're in the center of balance and you're hard on the throttle, almost every time you're going to get a nice clean arc off there. The only thing is, you are always going to have to go back a little bit into that rebound, because the rebound is causing, no matter how you look at it, the rebound is going to try to push you forward a little bit. So you're going to have to just arc back, or not arc, but row back a little bit with your legs back into that rebound. And that's how it works, guys. And that's the difference between these two guys. One was standing and was able to make his adjustments quick and save it. One was seated and couldn't get his weight where he needed to save it, and he almost endos. All right, guys, I'm going to break down more videos coming up of next week's race. I'm going to look for stuff like this, find it, and break it down for you. Talk to you guys soon. See you later.